Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. And this is the work of Group 5. And it is consist of John Michael Mayuyo, Ian, Froilan, and Claude Waldo and me. And I'm gonna present it to you. First, our topic is GTAW. For you, what is GTAW? What comes in your mind if you hear the word GTAW? Right, GTAW. This is the first slide. GTAW, or gas tungsten arc welding. TIG welding, also known as a GTAW, was created during the 1940s by a welder named Russell Meredith, who worked in Aircraft Corporation in Southern California. He created the technique because the methods of the day is not sufficient for welds on aluminum and magnesium alloys. GTAW is a type of process of welding that uses a consumable electrodes to produce welds in stainless steels and light metals such as aluminums, magnesium, and copper alloys. It says that the GTAW was created by Russell Meredith in 1940s. Like we all know that in the past decade, past years, we're not capable of doing some things because we are lack of machines like that, and we are lack of equipments, materials for doing stuff like this welding. Okay? That's why Russell Meredith created the GTAW. Yeah, the gas tungsten arc welding. Yes. Next, this is the welding repair materials, equipment, and tools. Welding torches. Welding torches, also known as tungsten inert gas or TIG, is an arc welding process that uses a non-consumable electrode to produce welds. The torches and the weld area are protected of gas to prevent oxidation or other atmospheric contaminations. These gases are helium or argon. Welding torches. Next, tungsten electrodes or tungsten rod. Tungsten rod are made in different compound chemical, mixing raw tungsten and specific dopiants to produce each blends. Tungsten electrodes are located inside the welding torch. It was located in the welding torch, just like I said in the previous slide. Tungsten electrodes are located in the welding torch. Tungsten electrode have different kinds of color for different types of work. It says that it has different color, but it's different works, because not all works are the same, Next, pure tungsten green. I'm gonna repeat this. Pure tungsten. This electrode has limited current density, is mostly used with alternative current for welding aluminum alloys. Next, zirconium. Zirconium tungsten electrodes, or it is called white 2 and brown. This common electrode reference of aluminum welding under alternative current. This is the pure tungsten, and it is green. And in the lower side of it is zirconium tungsten electrodes.
So next we'll hear thorium tungsten, which contains yellow, red, and purple and is mostly used under direct current. These electrodes have a higher admitted current density and have a better emissivity of the electrons and then the lanthanum tungsten. Where black, gold, and blue and it, these electrodes is very versatile and works with both direct current and alternate current, and it is widely used for all automated GTAW or what we call gas tungsten arc welding applications. Lastly, the cerium lanthanum tungsten, which holds pink in today's welders prefer to use these electrodes because these electrodes does not present any radioactive risk. Let us proceed to the welding repair, materials, equipment, and tools. First is the TIG welding machines. It used to provide alternate current or direct current for TIG welding, and these machines can control the current from the high or low current. Next is the shielding gas supply, which contains helium or argon or their mixture. These gases is used for TIG welding. Argon is the most common uses gas in TIG welding because argon gas can provide more control and operates at lower heat levels, making it better for thinner metal welding. Helium is used when thicker metals are being welded, which requires very high arc voltages. Their two gases can be also combined, but the disadvantages are more expensive to operate. Then the TIG filler rods are made in alloys or unalloyed metal with a very low melting point, which when heated melts turn into a liquid, then flow into the space between two close fitting parts, creating a brace or solder joint.
So good day to each and every one of us, and we will continue our topic in welding repair materials, equipments, and tools. And we have the personal protective equipments or PPE for GTAW. So when we say personal protective equipments, these are the tools or the equipments we are using for our protection, especially in welding and in GTAW. So we have our own personal protective equipments here in GTAW. So first, we have welding helmet. Welding helmet used to protect our face from the radiation, flying particles, debris, intense light, irritation, and chemical burns. So when we use the welding helmet, it can protect us from harm of radiation. So that's why it has the dark lens, and it can also protect us from the flying particles that the welding releases. And it can also protect us the debris that might go into our eyes, and of course it can protect us from the intense light that the welding releases. So this welding helmet is very useful to each and every one of us because this welding helmet might protect our face, especially from chemical burns. So this one is very useful in welding. Let us continue to the respirators. So we have respirators. Respirators used to protect our lungs to fumes and oxides from welding. So some lungs are too weak that they cannot carry the oxides that they are breathing. So we use respirators so that we cannot exhale what does the welding releases, what kinds of fumes does the welding releases, because those fumes, those oxides can take illness from our lungs. So we can see that respirators is very useful for our health also. So we will continue to fire or flame resistant clothing and aprons. So when we say fire or flame resistant clothing and aprons, these are used to protect our whole body from heat, fire burns, and radiation. So this is very useful to us, especially in welding, because this can protect us from fire burns, radiation, and this also can protect us from the irritation of our skin. So when we are welding it and we irritate our skin, this can take up to a week or more. So this is very useful for welding. So we will continue to boots and gloves. So when we say boots and gloves, this help us to protect our hands and feet from fire, electric shocks, burns, or heat. So this one is very useful, especially in welding, because sometimes there are some people that electrify because they are not using the proper way of using the boots and gloves. So as we can see, these boots and gloves are non-conductor of electricity. And sometimes also in fire, sometimes our hands might get burned, our feet might get burned if we will not use the boots and gloves. And this also can protect us from heat. So as we can see, these boots and gloves are very useful in welding. And we can see that it can really protect us from electric shock, from fires, from burns, and from heat that the welding releases. So we have a question for everyone. The question is, what type of tungsten rod should I use? So as we can see, we have the different kinds of tungsten rod. So in GTAW, what kind of tungsten rod should I use? Number 2, why gas tungsten arc welding or GTAW has non-consumable electrodes? So this is the ending of our topic, which is the gas tungsten arc welding or GTAW. So we are very thankful for those who listen, and we are very thankful for those who cooperate. So once again, we are the group 5, and our members, we have the presenters, which is me, Froilan Arellano, and Christian Boco, and Christian Alvarez. And our PowerPoint editor is Clodoaldo Venancio III, and our video editor is John Michael Mayuyu. So we are very thankful and we are very grateful for your cooperation and listening to every one of us.